Hello and welcome to the 4th edition of Deccan Herald's Bengaluru 2040 Summit. This is Shraddha. At the Bengaluru 2040 Summit, we discuss the future of Namma Bengaluru to make it more livable and sustainable. Today we have with us Dr. H S Aditya, Medical Officer at the Manasa Neuropsychiatric Hospital. Hello, Doctor.
Hi.
So at the panel, you spoke briefly about how words like stress, depression and anxiety creep into our everyday conversations. Could you tell us a bit more about this for our viewers?
First of all, can I just say how glad I am that they are now creeping into our regular conversations, because they're no longer so shameful, they're no longer frightening words. And I think what is really helpful for somebody like me is it means that people are now willing to seek help. But I wanted to say two things at the same time. That some of us are overusing the term stress and anxiety as if these were bad things, because we all go through stress and anxiety, and we all use stress and anxiety to help us motivate ourselves to finish a task, do better, do those things. That's partly normal. So we shouldn't medicalize what is normal. But equally, there is a lot of stress and anxiety that happens from either living a life that does not have a lot of meaning, living a life that is full of conflict, or having one of the major mental illnesses that we would call a brain disease. So for example, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, that is not really caused by stress, but is actually a mental illness. So why I am pleased that we're talking about more of it is, a lot of the patients that I have who have serious mental illness are actually now more willing to come and seek proper mental health care for what is a very severe illness that causes disability, but also is very treatable. Equally, there are lots of people with low levels of anxiety and stress that are seeking out things like therapy, counseling. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The one thing I would suggest to all of us as a society is, if you're going to go into Bengaluru 2040, is that we may need to change the way we bring up our young people. We are teaching young people that doing your exams, doing the best you can, and getting a rank or getting into IITG makes you happy. Now that is a big lie. It may be important to you that you get into IITG in a good school, but it does not make you happy, and we should not be lying to our children saying this is the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. Relationships are more important. Managing our own distress is more important. This is what I would like our schools to spend a little more time, our parents to spend more time, and our families to be spending more time on. That's what I think.
That's really enlightening. Thank you, Doctor. My next question would be, as you said, more and more people are seeking help. But despite an awareness on mental health and seeking help for mental illnesses, what are some of the stigma that are still associated with?
Oh, there is still a lot of stigma, but it's not just India. Across the world, there is stigma. And what we're now noticing is that actually, even though some of our patients are coming to see us, they're still anxious about what they will find. They're worried, what will the psychiatrist do? Is he going to keep me in hospital? Is he going to give me treatment I don't want? Is there shame associated with it? What did my neighbors think? Can I talk about this in school? Many of my patients will say, once they come and see me, they'll say, I wish I'd come and seen you before. I wish I hadn't spent so much time worrying about it. Also, as families, we may need to be equally open to this idea that mental illness is like a body illness. In the way that you have a problem with your body, you go to another physician. If you have a problem with your mind, you'll come to a doctor like me. That's what I would like to spread. But you're right, there is stigma, there is shame, there is fear, and there's a lot of misconception. There's a lot of competing beliefs. So even now I meet people who are highly educated who say, Doctor, is it black magic? Could someone have done something to me? Is there something wrong with the vastu of our house? To know, no to all the answers, but I'm a rationalist. I appreciate that some of my patients have religious beliefs, but there is still a lot of misconception about the causation of mental illness. A lot of my patients' families live with guilt. They say, maybe we didn't bring up my child properly, that's why they have schizophrenia. No, it's not your fault. It's not your child's fault. Mental illnesses can happen to any of us. And once they happen, it is a job of all of us to reduce suffering. That's what I'm hoping will change. But you're right, our work is not done. There is a lot to do.
Thank you. My last question to you would be about technology and mental health. With a growing dependency on AI chatbots to discuss or to know more about mental health conditions, what does the future of mental health care look like?
I think the future of mental health care will involve a lot of technology. technology even before you come to a professional. A technology on your wrist, for example, on my watch or my phone, might actually wake me up every day and say, your sleep quality is not as good as it was the last week. Do you want to see if you're okay? Especially if I already have a mental illness, in the way that a lot of my diabetic patients are already wearing a blood sugar monitor and it warns them saying your blood sugar is low, blood sugar is high. We will have similar systems we're doing some research in Manasa on this, on using a wristwatch to help my patients with severe mental illness know when they're not doing well, when they need to seek help, when they need to go to a doctor. So a lot of technology is going to be there. Even before all of this, I think technology is going to be used by all of us in our phones to help us decide, how do I manage my stress? How do I manage my anxiety today? We may have chatbot therapists within the next year. Already I have one in my phone and it's not bad. So I'm sitting there thinking I may not have to train all that many psychologists. For the entry level, we could probably be using our phones just as well as going to a hospital. But once you get to severe anxiety, depression, OCD, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, chatbots are not going to fix that. We may still have to do what we're doing, but with a lot of technology addition to it. So I'm hoping technology will improve our healthcare provision and not interfere with it.
Thank you, Doctor, for that enlightening. Bengaluru 2040 Summit will continue till this evening. Tune in for more. Thank you.